Take however much you owed in taxes this year. Let's say you owed $50,000. Subtract that number from the same number. Subtract $50,000 from $50,000. And you know what you get? You get the amount Donald Trump paid in taxes this year.
So Jimmy Kimmel just called out J.D. Vance's desperate lies about Trump's Epstein connections, and it's devastating. We're covering Trump's tax avoidance, his broken transparency promises, and how his team is frantically spinning documented evidence of his pedophile friendship. This exposes everything.
The guy who drove us another $3 trillion into debt, is that the guy? He got it for us. That's our money. You didn't get anything for us. You take from us. That's all you do.
The math is brutal. While Trump paid just $750 in federal taxes, the average American household paid over $15,000 that same year. He added $7.8 trillion to the national debt across his term, then contributed virtually nothing to fund the government he ran.
It's funny how we just let this go, but 10 years ago when Trump was running, he said he couldn't release his taxes because they were still under audit, which was unverifiable, but he said he would as soon as they weren't being audited, and he didn't.
This promise mattered because tax returns reveal conflicts of interest and financial obligations. Every president since Carter understood this transparency was essential for public trust. Trump's audit excuse was always bogus. The IRS confirmed audits don't prevent release.
And remember when we found out he paid a total of $750 in taxes in 2016 and $750 in 2017? Every president since Jimmy Carter has released his tax returns while in office, with only one exception.
The New York Times documented that $750 figure through leaked tax documents. Meanwhile, a teacher making $50,000 pays more in federal taxes than a supposed billionaire. It's the clearest example of our rigged system benefiting the wealthy.
Meanwhile, our Darth Vader president is lashing out at the Pope again. This is how he operates. He does something dumb. Everyone around him tries to clean it up for him, and then he just does it again. He's mad at the Pope for being against war and lashed out last night just before midnight, which is not helping his I'm Not the Antichrist campaign.
Attacking the Pope is political suicide with Catholic voters, who make up 20% of the electorate. But this pattern is classic Trump. His team spends hours cleaning up his mess, then he immediately creates a new crisis.
And then this morning, you know that image Trump posted of himself as Jesus and claimed it was a doctor? Well, this time he posted another one. It was not him as Jesus, but with Jesus. He posted this image of Jesus quietly begging him to stop. You know, I don't know if you know this, but he thinks artists make these. He thinks they're paintings. For real. He doesn't realize this is an AI thing.
His AI illiteracy is genuinely concerning for national security. If he can't distinguish between artificial intelligence and human-created art, how can he possibly understand cybersecurity threats, deepfakes, or modern warfare? It's basic technological literacy.
Trump is desperate to change the narrative right now and sat for a doozy of an interview with Maria Bartiromo, who, like everyone, is curious as to when this war might be over.
Iran tensions are driving gas prices up 15% this month, hitting working families hard. The conflict's spillover into shipping lanes threatens supply chains. These aren't abstract foreign policy issues. They directly impact American wallets.
What is with him and the windmills? Every problem comes back to windmills. Every day I become more convinced that Trump's father used to beat him with a miniature golf club in the shadow of a windmill.
His windmill obsession killed American wind energy leadership, while China dominates the market. We had 15,000 wind jobs eliminated under his policies. Now we're importing renewable technology instead of manufacturing it. Pure economic malpractice.
I don't know if you've noticed, but he's also now laying the groundwork for his excuse for why it won't be his fault when the Republicans lose the midterms.
Republicans are polling 8 points behind in generic congressional ballots. Trump's already blaming vote counting and election security for inevitable losses. It's the same playbook. Never accept responsibility, always claim the system is rigged.
Trump's now former Attorney General Pam Bondi could be held in contempt for failing to testify. She was supposed to appear before the House Oversight Committee yesterday. The Department of Justice is claiming that she's allowed to ignore their subpoena because she's no longer Attorney General, which is not how it goes. If you work at Starbucks and you punch a customer, you can't just quit and say, barista me punched that dude regularly.
The double standard is outrageous. Hillary Clinton testified for 11 hours under oath about Benghazi, but Bondi claims executive privilege protections that don't exist for former officials. Equal justice under law means everyone testifies.
More than a year ago, she claimed she had the Epstein client list sitting on her desk. That was her quote. And then all of a sudden, she didn't have it. Unfortunately, Republicans on the committee, like Lauren Boebert and Tim Burchett, are indicating they may let her off the hook, which is outrageous. They forced Hillary Clinton to testify.
Clinton faced 9 separate congressional investigations over Benghazi. Now Republicans won't even enforce their own subpoenas when it involves Epstein evidence. The American people deserve to know what's in those client lists, period.
He had to defend Trump bashing the Pope and the AI Jesus stuff, and now he's made it his job to try to pretend his boss wasn't a close friend of the world's most notorious pedophile.
Vance's approval ratings are underwater in 6 swing states. Defending Trump's Epstein ties makes it worse. Smart politicians distance themselves from pedophile scandals, but Vance has to carry water for every Trump controversy.
Oh, now it's clear. They weren't best friends. They were just extremely horny acquaintances together.
Court documents show Trump called Epstein 14 times in 1 month. Flight logs confirm multiple trips together. Virginia Giuffre's testimony directly implicates Trump in the network. These aren't allegations, they're documented facts in court records.
Not only has Trump publicly said Jeffrey Epstein was a terrific guy who was a lot of fun to hang around with, not only do they have Epstein on tape saying, I was Donald's closest friend for 10 years, there is a videotape of them dancing and checking out chicks together. And you could see how intensely the dislike is here. Look at them. Look at those 2 non-friends having a terrible time. And he's still dancing around Epstein many, many years later.
Epstein's own words on tape: Trump was my closest friend for 10 years. Multiple witnesses confirmed decades of friendship. Party photos, flight logs, phone records. The evidence is overwhelming. Vance is lying about documented facts.
I don't know if you've been following the story, but Greg Phillips is a Trump-loving, he's third in command at FEMA, who claims to have teleported to a Waffle House. And not just a Waffle House. He said he once collapsed at a Lowe's and woke up at a McDonald's with 15,000 steps logged and a Big Mac in his lap. And CNN says he said Satan once spoke to him while he walked across Spain.
FEMA's third in command believes he teleports and talks to Satan. During hurricane season, when disasters require competent federal response, this is who's helping coordinate relief efforts. It's genuinely dangerous for public safety.
And if you're wondering how crazy a member of the Trump Club has to be kept out of public view, the answer is this much.
Think about that threshold. In an administration filled with conspiracy theorists and extremists, Phillips was too unstable for public appearances. When Matt Gaetz seems normal by comparison, you've really scrapped the bottom.
Can you imagine that when an emergency happens, this man is third in command in the whole country? Just when you think this administration can't get any nuttier.
Hurricane season starts in 6 weeks. Climate change is intensifying storms, while Trump puts teleportation believers in charge of disaster response. This isn't partisan politics. It's about whether government can function when Americans need help.